All right, guys, we're back. Let's break down our next two audibles, and that is Hitch Seam and PA Reed. And what I hope you're catching within all of these breakdowns is number one, there's a specific play breakdown, but there's also a conceptual breakdown. And there's some very foundational key concepts to the air raid that we're going to go over in a separate video within this guide that's going to talk about kind of air raid philosophy as a whole and why it's significant to Madden. But what I hope you're catching in these specific breakdowns is these are meant to be a guide. It's not the end all be all. You want to put your own spin on this, and you really want to understand why routes work the way that they work, and hopefully this has given you a glimpse of that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about two other plays, and I like to run hitch seam. I actually like to run both of these plays to the right hash. Now again, this is a preference. You don't have to do this. You don't have to run it to the hash. I try to there's a couple plays you might have to, and we will point those out, but there's again guys, concepts. I want to drive that home. Try to get the bigger overarching picture of what I'm trying to do. For example, hitch seam. So you have two seam routes. You have one that is a straight streak, and then you have one that is what I call kind of an angled or wraparound streak, which basically means he's going to kind of wrap around the vertical hook and get inside on the deep half, right? Whereas Hardman is going straight up the seam. So with the pass lead, I can pass lead Mecole Hardman's route more to the outside than I can to Sammy Watkins. So that's why I want to run it to the right hash, because it's going to give me more space to be able to throw Mecole Hardman open against a cover 3 style defense. The first setup I like to do out of this, and this is quickly becoming one of my favorite setups in Madden, period, but it's to all curl everybody. Literally to curl everybody, especially if they're pressed up. If they're backed off like this, I'll put one receiver on an out route. Excuse me, and typically that's going to be the wide receiver on um, the far hash, so to the wide side of the field. So here I'm going to put Pringle on an out route. As you can see, it's going to beat any drop coverage that they're going to face. Because what I've been getting a lot of is these hitch routes, because because of the type of route they're breaking. When you think about a route tree, they're going to break to the inside. And so if he's let's say he's in some kind of like cloud flat, if I try to throw the hitch route on the cloud, you see that I can throw it, but I have to let it sit. I have to kind of let it simmer. But if I want to throw it on the snap, you'll see here, if I want to just throw this right here, whoops, wrong play. If I just want to throw it on the snap of the ball and he's in a hard flat, you'll see right here, it's a pick. And I've thrown some of those picks. But if it's an out route, because of the way that this is going to work, right? The way that the plays are going to work together on this, if it's an out route, you can get that ball. Whoops, I accidentally put him on a hitch again. You can get that ball out there because of the space, right? 53-3. The spread wants to attack the whole field, the wide side of the field. So here, that corner, it's going to be a challenge for that corner to get out there. You see here, see how far it gets out there? And that's a hard flat. That's a hard flat, right? Now, and again, we're just taking advantage of leverage here. Now, if they're in cover 2 sink, right, you're not going to be able to do anything about it. Let me show you this. So hitch seam, and I'm going to put Pringle on the out route, and you're going to see there is nothing I can do. I can pass lead it up, and as you can see, if I pass lead it up, it can kind of get out there. And that's also why, I tend to recommend, because if they're in cover 2 sink and they put him in a cloud flat, let me show you how that looks too. So you get that reroute, and then there's not much you can do. So it just kind of depends on, and that's why I want to run one to the wide side, one to the short side, because if they're in cover two, if they are in, let me show you, if they're in cover two sink and they're in cloud flats, you're going to see these hitch routes are going to kill it. Let me show you this here real quick. Hitch seam, the corners on the outside are in clouds. Just low ball. You just have low balls everywhere, right? So you can mess around with that, tinker that a little bit, but that's one little kind of piece that I've added onto this little play. But in general, guys, pretty much every coverage you're going to face, you're going to be able to beat. So like if they're in cover three, it's just about making the right read and throwing these guys open. Throwing these guys open is absolutely critical. So you want to make sure with your hitch routes that you lowball them. You lowball them. Absolutely critical. Absolutely critical. Lowball the hitch route. Trust me. Lowball it and pass lead it where the defender isn't. So, for example, if they're in man-to-man, then what you're going to do, so you see here, he's just in straight man, right? And then he's going to come over him. You see that right there? See how they come back and get over him? That's going to kind of swallow it up. So if they're in man, you've got to kind of throw it as he stops, as he makes his cut, as he stops. If they're in zone, you want to wait a little bit and let it sit. Kind of like the settle up and noose theory from the mesh, right? If they're in man, you want to hit it while it's going. But if they're in zone, see, against man, I can just lowball it all day. And what I like to do, honestly, against man, and this is specifically against man, right? And specifically if I'm using like a quarterback like Mahomes, I'm going to pass lead it up. I'm going to low ball it and I'm going to pass lead it up. And what's going to happen is it's going to create that element. Now, you don't have to pass lead at all with this against man-to-man. If they're just in straight man, you can throw this all day. Even if they press up and they underneath coverage, watch what's going to happen. Just right there, it's a stop route. If I didn't low ball that there, but it's a low ball possession catch route. Like they literally can't stop this route. And honestly, if you wanted to, what you could do with this play is you could smart route Sammy Watkins just on this. Just if you're running the all curl version, it's just going to get that hitch to go just a little bit deeper. But you see right there, just a stop route. It's just a stop route. It's a timing route. And this is a play that I really love against the blitz, to be quite honest with you, because whichever way they choose, whichever route they try to take away, they're going to be wrong, right? And you see how I can't quite get that out there, that outside hitch. So on that outside hitch, what I'm going to tell you is that's why I put the out route sometimes. But again, you don't have to. Right here on the left side, I throw it hard outside. If you're wanting to throw the outside hitch, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, you might want to consider if they're in like a cover 3 style defense or cover 4 drop style defense, which I get a lot of cover 4 drop. I get a lot of cover 4 drop with this offense. If they are in a defense like that, then again, you're going to want to work that wide side of the field. But even as here, as you see, that's a cloud flat. He's able to pick off that hitch. That's why I started throwing the out route for you. Okay. That's why I started throwing that 5 and out. And the reason you want to throw it a 5 and out is because he's going to break a little bit better. But this is only if the cornerback is off. So if the cornerback is pressed up, that's your cue that they're not in a good look for that. That's your cue that they're in cover 2 cloud flat with the outside guys. So then that's your cue where you'll see this work like a charm against cover 2. One of these curls is open. One of these curls is open. And the cover 2 is probably going to do the best job against it, but let's show you cover 3. This is cover 3, and this is shaded coverage down. And again, we're just going all curl. And you're going to see they're going to sit. One of them is going to be open. One of them is going to be open. Okay? So that's kind of the first version of that I want to do. And I want to do that a lot. Honestly, this is such a powerful play because of the fact that it just stretches the defense horizontally. And that's why I said, if you want to, you could take Sammy Watkins and put him on a smart routed one. Because what's going to happen then is against the cover 2, now you've got even better pocket. Now you've got even a better pocket to throw it, right? Cover 4, it's gonna essentially what you're trying to do is you are trying to take advantage of the defense when they put deep blue zones on the field. That's what you're basically trying to do, right? But right here, you see, you can check down to the running back. That running back route, and if the running back, if you're facing like a heavy pressure defense, you can block him, no worries. But if you're not, that hitch route works so well. And again, I'm just going to ID the guy that I want the running back to watch. If they don't blitz him, then you'll see we're going to be able to pop those hitches over and over again. I throw those all the time. And I started throwing the out route just for the off coverage, right? Just for off coverage. Because if they're in off coverage, you can throw that out route pretty consistently. That little 5 and out, you click on, it's just a simple possession catch. Okay? So that's hitch seam curl version. Now we're going to talk about a hitch seam from a 4 verticals version. Okay? Hitch seam from a 4 verticals version. So what's going to happen is they're going to start shading coverage down. They're going to have a hard time stopping it. And so now what you're faced with is you're going to have a couple of different options here. So what I like to do with this is essentially turn this into a 4 verticals. So I'm going to take Tyreek Hill and I'm going to put him on a fade route or a streak. You can put him on a fade route or a streak. Streak route is a little bit better against man, and a fade is a little bit better against zone. Okay, so typically I face a lot of cover 2, so I'm going to put him on a fade route. It's going to get him that outside release that we want. On the backside, what I like to do is I'm going to take Mecole Hardman and I'm going to motion. Remember, we want to check what the motions do, right? I can motion Sammy Watkins in, or I can motion Mecole Hardman onto the line of scrimmage. You see that motion's going to do? What that motion creates for me is it's going to create a really good 3 verticals. Now, from there, Byron Pringle's route, what I like to do is put him on a comeback route. Okay, just a simple comeback route. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to peek at Tyreek Hill, then I'm going to look to Sammy Watkins, then Mecole Hardman, and then Byron Pringle. And just try to figure out where the grass is. And you see here against cover 2, Sammy Watkins is going to be a really, really consistent read. And you see how this is going to be kind of a cat and mouse game, because they can't cover everything all the time, right? And that's why this hitch seam play is so powerful. And you could literally just leave it like this. You don't have to do any special motion if you don't want to. It's the concept is going to work. It's a conceptual 3 verticals with a tag on a comeback route on that left side. Now, if the cornerbacks are backed off, then I'm going to put Byron Pringle on a out route. But you see here, snap of the ball, and you're going to get that outside release to Tyreek Hill. You can click on an aggressive catch that, right? We know how effective that is, where you can swerve him inside and take it. But what his job really is, honestly, on this play is to keep the defense honest, because the more you run, the more you play, and this is why you're going to see this out of this specific defense. This is what you're going to see. I promise you. You're going to get this coverage show. Because what they're not going to want to do is they're not going to want to continue to give you up the underneath. So at that right time where you think you can hit them over the top, where they give you a look or they give you a signal, there might be something open deep. You're going to call this play. What's going to happen is they have to have deep blues to stop you. They don't have deep blues, so you can click on and make a catch to your guy, Sammy Watkins or Travis Kelce, or whoever that player might be. Because they have to have their linebacker. They have to have their middle linebacker in a deep blue zone to be able to stop that route. If they roll coverage and they're in cover 3, all right, let's just say they roll coverage and they're in cover 3. Snap of the ball, you're going to see what's going to happen here. Number 1, you can fit that streak route up, and again, that's why I talk about the steerable pass lead. Essentially, what you're going to do with Mecole Hardman's route is you're going to throw it the opposite of where the safety is. If the safety's inside, you're going to throw it outside. If safety's outside, you're going to throw it inside. So where is the safety, right? Where is the safety? Like right in here, you see? He's outside, so I can throw it inside. You want to make sure you're possession catching. Sometimes I have a tendency to try to do a little too much and try to rack catch it, but you want to make sure that you're possession catching. It's going to give you consistent animation against the zone coverage. So snap of the ball here. Here's cover 3, and you see there, and I threw it a little bit late. But really what you're looking at is you're trying to get the ball up the seam. You're trying to get the ball up the seam. And because the spread is such a spread, that's part of the reason why you want to make sure that on this play, you're leaving guys in specific places. See here, I could stack Tyreek Hill. See how it moves Sammy Watkins out just a little bit? It moves him out just a little bit, right? That then I can run Tyreek Hill on a flat route. I could put him on a hitch and smart route it. I can do a lot with this. With that one motion, I'm now able to have a lot more space to be able to throw Sammy Watkins' route. So you can do some things with the motion to be able to really change how the deep blues are going to face that, how the deep blues are going to attack that specific route concept. So for example, what you could do with this, and these are all examples, and you're going to have to decide what motion you want to do, right? You could do any of these, and in the written guide, I'm going to give you my recommended version of this setup, but in the video portion, I'm trying to show you how that's going to work. So if I motion Sammy Watkins right, you see it's going to flex Tyreek Hill out like so, but the problem is it's going to get him too close to Mecole Hardman, and they're going to be able to user this route. That's kind of the tricky part about the spread, right? You don't want them to be able to user every route on the field. So with this play, what I'm going to do with this other option is I can take Tyreek Hill. I can put him on a comeback route. That's going to kind of force that deep blue zone to actually think, oh no, what if this happens or whatever. But see how Sammy Watkins, watch where he ends up. When I motion Tyreek Hill and watch where he ends up. See how he moves just a couple steps to the right. That little movement right there is what we're after, and it's going to be a nice inside pass lead against cover 3. See how the safety can't get over? So you have that option there as well. Again, you can also motion Mecole Hardman and put him on the line of scrimmage. As you can see, I mean, these are options you have, and if they go cover 3, you're going to see here at the snap of the ball, I can throw Mecole Hardman against that right there. You see how he stops? See how he cuts it off? That's what we're looking for. And, at the end of the day, if nothing's open, I can always check it back down. I can always hit the comeback route, right? As soon as he breaks the outside, he's going to be very, very consistent with this play. But what you're banking on is that you're probably going to be getting, especially with the combination of everything else that we've been doing on offense, okay? Everything else that I've been doing on offense is going to force them to have to run some type of 5 underneath coverage. So you're going to get some kind of cover 2 because they just don't have the numbers to be able to throw, and you're going to be able to get them up. Okay? Again, it's about grass. It's not necessarily just about routes. Now, I wanted to show you a simple way that you can actually use Sammy Watkins' route in combination with Tyreek Hill's route to work some really good combinations on the backside. So what you can do with this, if you wanted to, is you could effectively turn this into the drive play, but you have the vertical now coming from Sammy Watkins' side of the field. So if you wanted to, you could take Mecole Hardman and you could put him on a 10-yard in route. Okay. Then you could take Byron Pringle and put him on a drag route, and now you've created a levels concept. Then you can take Mecole Hardman, put him on that route right there. You see how it's going to move him in just a smidge. And then with Tyreek Hill, you can put him on an out route, and now you have a basic curl flat combination. But now what it is it's a same play, looks exactly very similar to what we would do from drive, but now you're doing it from this formation. And you see how the concept of levels, the concept of what we're after here, now cross applies to a whole nother option for you. Okay? So these are little tweaks that you can do that are going to help with the constraint theory, right? The constraint theory meaning that you're going to keep the defense from keying in on a specific setup you're going to run, or trying to, because what a lot of competitive players will do is they will overcommit to stop your one or two plays. But if you have a plethora of plays that are really the same concepts, they're just kind of flipped or ran different ways to different wide receivers, it's going to help you a lot. So that's hitch seam. And then the last play, PA wide receiver read. So this play, I like to run this a variety of different ways, but what we're going to specifically focus in on is this is going to be kind of like Y cross to the right. So Tyreek Hill, his route, if I motion him to the left, you see he's going to come in, compress. It's going to change everything, right? It's going to get Hardman a little closer. It's going to do all of that stuff. So what I like to do is I like to take Tyreek Hill, and I like to put him on, you can put him on a flat route. You can put him on a hitch route if you want to. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. But I'm going to probably put him on a drag. Then I'm going to take Sammy Watkins and put him on a hitch route. And then from there, Williams is going to be on his little block and release pattern. And at the snap of the ball, what you're going to see is we're going to basically combine shallow cross with levels. So snap of the ball, and you're going to get that, or not with levels, with Y cross. Shallow cross with Y cross. So you see that right there. Now, this Y cross, right, to this, basically we're flipping the Y cross, right? We got the crossing route coming from this side now. You could motion. Again, you just want to get a little bit creative with your motions, right? But at the snap of the ball, you see we're going to have like that little hitch seam combination, and that little hitch route's going to sit against a lot of different defenses. So if they bail and they go take the crossing route away, you're going to be fine. You can just check down to the hitch, and you're going to get a quick 5-10 yards. And if you want to, you could put Tyreek Hill on the hitch once you motion him in. Okay, it's up to you. But what's going to happen is this crossing route is going to get over the cloud under the deep blue effectively. And let me show you it against Tampa 2. So Tampa 2 to me is the one that's going to have the best time stopping this, or it's going to be the most difficult to be stopped against Tampa 2. So let me show you how this looks. But you'll see right in that pocket. Right in that pocket, it's just a possession catch, and there's just nothing they can do. So what if they run like cover 4, right? Cover 4 drop with the cloud. So now they've got the slot guy on the cloud flat. Well, let's show you that read. And again, you're still going to be able to have the underneath in all of these scenarios. You also have one of the deepest post routes. But you see here, this crosser, it's going to be a little bit tighter of a window. It's going to be just a little bit of a tighter window over that cover 4 play. And if you're facing cover 4, you could run more of a traditional Y cross setup where you're doing this right here, right? This is traditional. So you got that drag coming across, and you're going to throw that with a kind of an up and out pass lead. And that's more of a traditional way to run this. The issue with this traditional way is Tyreek Hill's route is not going to do a whole lot for you. But what you could do with Sammy Watkins is put him on a hitch as well, and I've done all of these setups, right? But he's just going to sit right there. But you see how it's going to bring that cloud flat back? That's the issue with that route. That's the issue with doing it that way. And so that's kind of why, I've kind of steered a little bit away from that because of how good the cover 2 is. But it's kind of a catch-22 because if they run cover 4 with the clouds and you run this setup right here, watch what happens on this crossing route. You see there's just no window to throw the ball on that sideline. So you're kind of left with wondering what do I call, what do I do? And you could motion McCole Hardman, and you see how it's going to bring Byron Pringle in just a little bit on that side. So if they go to like a cover 4, shade coverage down, shade coverage up, You've got the route to Williams there. And then you've got Tyreek Hill, who's on the line of scrimmage. Now, you could run him on a straight streak if you wanted to. Again, you're going to still run into that same issue. But for cover 4, this is going to serve to kind of run him off, and now you're going to be able to throw the ball in that pocket against Tyreek Hill or against zone. But it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, now if they're in cover 2, so you're not going to have like a foolproof setup for every defense that you're going to face. It's going to be with tendencies and what they're doing. That's why air raid is so much more about grass than it is about anything. What you're going to see here in cover 2. You see, I can still throw the ball. So that streak to Tyreek Hill is going to be pivotal for you. With the cover 4, with the post route, what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the post route to Byron Pringle on this. So if I streak Tyreek Hill, and then all I'm going to do is Sammy Watkins. This is just traditional Y cross, right? 10-yard out route or 5-yard out route. I would probably, honestly, you could leave him on the zig. I would do him a 5-yard speed out. But you're going to see here, snap of the ball. This post route is also within what we're trying to do from Y cross. It's not quite there. But let me show you what you can do with this post route to the short side. So if they're running like a cover 2 defense, you're going to see that this deep half, all I have to do is if I take Sammy Watkins and I motion him to the left, you're going to see he's going to come into tight end, and it's going to bring Byron Pringle is going to come closer to the line of scrimmage. Okay, now you see Sammy Watkins is going to be on a specific route, and we don't have to put him on any route. We're just going to delay fade him or block him. And with Tyreek Hill, all we're going to do is we're going to put him on a quick drag route. Right? This is just a 3-man route combination. What you're going to see here is this corner or this safety is going to have issues. You see how I can aggressive catch this? Now, if we run this to the opposite hash, you're going to see that if they're running a cover 2 style defense, if I remember correctly to do, I don't run this a lot. I run this against people that all they do is run cover 2. The reason I don't like to run this a lot is because there's really not a whole lot of options if they're not in cover 2. Right? But you'll see here, if I pass lead that, oh, I have to take the crosser away. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. So basically the theory is you can't have any route to the left side of the field to do this. So we take Sammy Watkins away. Now we're in a 3-by-1. So we're just going to block him. Very simple, right? We're going to take Tyreek Hill. We're going to take him on a 5 and out. And then from there, we're going to take Mecole Hardman, and we're just going to put him on a smart routed out route. Right? Very, very simple. This looks very similar to a play that we're going to have out of the shotgun doubles, and I'll show that to you in just a little bit. But you'll see here the snap of the ball. This is something that's going to require a little bit of time in the pocket. But that corner, I think I might be running to the wrong side of the field. But that corner, that safety, we're trying to get him to dumb out against cover 2. And really it's not. It's literally just the zone principle of him saying, okay, I have no one to cover. What do I do, right? So if we're on this side, this hash of the field, right, and that's why hashes are so critical to your offense. We can do any combination we want on that left side. But you'll see here, the safety is going to kind of completely dumb out, roll out, and you're going to have a 1-play score against Tampa 2. Now, let me show you why I don't run this a lot. I really want to be clear on why I don't run this a lot. You can actually do it because we want it to show spread, because we want to have all of the threats, right? We want to have all of the threats that we would normally have. So when we motion Sammy Watkins across, it completely changes everything about the defense. 3-by-1 can be defended a lot easier than spread can, in my personal opinion. But what you'll see here is if I take Mecole Hardman and put him on the line of scrimmage, it's going to bring Byron Pringle in. Now from there, if I take Sammy Watkins, if I just block the running back, I take Sammy Watkins, put him on a little flat route, take Tyreek Hill, put him on a drag, and then Sammy Watkins do any route to the left side. Whatever I want to put him on, it could be a curl, it could be a flat, right? It could be a drag even. What you'll see here is at the snap of the ball, you're going to get that same thing. This time we went with him because we put a drag on a crossing route. But you see it's a one-on-one with the safety. And so a good receiver, you'll be able to get that. But what I want to show you is one other thing. Let me see if I can get this to work from spread. So PA read. We're just going to take Sammy Watkins, put him on a little flat. And then we're going to take Mecole Hardman, put him on a flat, right? Just a very simple route combination. But you'll see the safety just completely gets roasted over the top against cover 2. Now here is what my issue is with this play. Here's what my issue is with this play. This is cover 2, okay? Now I'm going to take Bobby Wagner and I'm just going to put him in a deep third. Okay, and most people would do this, right? I mean, if you're playing Madden at a high level, see, and you can do some motion glitches where you can bring him in, put him on a flat, bring him back out. So now you've got a couple of different options with your reads. At the end of the day, it's still the same basic route combination. If I throw that, you see how Wagner's now in the play? And there's just not a throw. One simple hot route completely changes that. Now, granted, to be fair, it glitches a specific type of zone. So if they're in cover 4 palms, let me show you this. This is becoming one of people's very good strategies for cover 4 palms. I just want you to know that you do have this option in your arsenal. That's the main thing I wanted you to be aware of with this, but you want to use it really, really carefully. Right? This is a simple thing. You can't have any vertical route going to the right side of the field. So it does limit what you can do other than throw that route. But you'll see here at the snap of the ball, this is cover 4 palms. That deep half is going to dumb out. And I'm going to hit him over the top. I can possession catch that and make that catch. That's cover 4 palms. So any deep half can't hang with this. This is a deep half glitch. It's not a cover 4 palms glitch. It's not a, if you're getting a heavy dosage of cover 2 and you know what they're going to call, this is a good play to call. But again, you just got to be really careful. Because you see here, this was cover 4 palms, and they boxed us. They got the animation. That's probably a pick if it's a good corner. So just use this sparingly is all I'm going to say. And the deep half glitch won't work. Like if he goes Tampa 2 here, watch what happens. So we're going to do everything the same, but all we're going to do is have Mecole Hardman on a route. And we're going to put him on the line of scrimmage, just like we just did. Snap of the ball, and what you're going to see is that deep half, I can throw it up, but as you can see, he can come back on the ball. So, not as precious as we'd like it to be, but what you can do is you can smart route Pringle's route. It turns him into a little bit more of a skinny post. He's going to break a little bit sooner. And see how this is so significant, because it now basically turns it into shallow cross. But it's Y cross paired with this angling pass lead up style thing. And when you pair those two routes together, what happens is it's going to further help you open up your crossing route. Because the mid read out of Tampa 2 is going to go with the post route. The reason that is significant is because they are going to have to use that makes them, by the nature of the route, they then have to now user the route to Mecole Hardman no matter what. no matter what. See, he's not going to go with him, and you're going to be able to hit it. Against cover 2, you're also going to be able to hit it against cover 4. We'll show you that right here. Cover 4 is going to be the one that it's going to be a little bit better against, in my opinion. But you're just going to put Mecole Hardman on the line of scrimmage. And I don't run this play a ton. I probably should run it a little bit more than I do. But you see right there. Right there. Against cover 4. Against cover 2. And what I like about this play is it forces the defense to really have to have a good user underneath. A good user underneath. Because you're still running shallow, right? You still have Sammy Watkins on that flat drag route coming across. But if they're undisciplined, you're going to hit them right in this pocket with the cross route. Okay? So that's PA read. And now what we're going to do is show you a couple of things within this formation. So PA read, one of the other things I wanted to show you with this is if I motion Byron Pringle to the right, you're going to see it's going to bring him across and it's going to put him in this little pocket right here. It's going to create kind of a 3-by-1 formation. That allows you to do all kinds of things. All kinds of things, okay? You really, in my opinion, I don't do that enough. A lot of people do it against me. But this RPO read screen, one of the things that you can do, and that's why it's so important to understand where you can motion players. So if I motion Tyreek Hill to the left, you see I'm not going to be able to. I don't think I can put him on any route. I can't motion him, can't do anything, right? But, and you see how they're going to move a little bit. Now if I go to RPO read screen, now I can't motion him, can't do anything. But what I can do is I can take like Pringle and I can bring him to the right. Now it's going to automatically put him on a hitch route. So effectively what I have is that hitch route is going to hold a lot of different things that they can do against zone. So if he pass commits, let's just say this is just cover 4, right? Just standard cover 4. If he pass commits, puts him in a hard flat, which you'll see that, right? You do have a little bit of a tell with your motion there. But you're just going to bring Hardman across the formation just like this, very simply. He's going to go on to a hitch route. And at the snap of the ball, you can read who do you want to throw the ball to. If the flat flies out, you see how it becomes an RPO? Now, part of what you're probably saying is you want it to look like some of your other plays. Well, you could put Mecole Hardman on a hitch route right there. Well, what you're going to do is it's a quick read, and if it's not there, you can always throw that backside hitch route. So that's a little quick tip on the RPO from this formation. But basically, the RPO, all I'm going to do is I'm going to read that read defender. Does he stay? If he does stay, then I'm going to probably run the ball most of the time. Right? I'm going to probably run the ball most of the time. And really, what you're trying to look at is that slot defender. Does the slot stay or does he go out? So if he comes at you, you throw the ball. If he stays or kind of finagles a little bit, you're going to run the ball. That means they're either pass committed or they're not pass committed. If they're pass committed, that's kind of the key to stopping the RPO. So right here you'll see he's going to stay. So now I need to read the defender. This is a play that takes a lot of practice. And to be honest with you, what I would recommend doing is going into a game and running RPO every single play for the entire game. It's going to help you. It's going to teach you what they can do, what they can't do, what the defense alignment's going to mean. But if they pass commit, you need to run the ball. That's just the bottom line. If they don't pass commit, then now you have options. And I would always have a backside hitch. Why? Because if you guess wrong, you can pretty much always throw the hitch. But here's snap of the ball. And if I can run with Mahomes, typically I'll run it right down the middle. If he takes the running back, because it's a read option, if he takes the running back, then I'm going right down the middle. Okay. Some other motions that you can do with this formation. You can take Sammy Watkins and bring him to the left side and create a 3-by-1 on that side as well. And within the PA, within a couple of hidden plays we're going to talk about right now. So these are what I call constraint theory plays. These are plays that you want to use kind of sparingly. You want to come out in these plays, but and I don't use them a ton, but the play is 617. Y stick is another one that you can use. Smash is another one. And then I think jet touch pass was the only other one that I wanted to talk about. So Y stick, if you take a look here, actually we're not even going to talk about Y stick because it's not the right route. 617, you see you have this fade route to Pringle. If you're on the right hash, that fade route becomes really, really good against cover 2. And I get a lot of cover 2, right? A lot of cover 2. Cover 2 cloud flat, okay? And I'm just going to go to 617. What's going to happen is Byron Pringle is going to get an outside release, and you can pass lead. You can basically pass lead that to the left. What you need to make sure that you do with that is you need to make sure that Mecole Hardman is on a flat route. But if they shade coverage over top the cloud, what that's going to mean is Pringle is going to get a release off of this leverage right here. He's going to get that release, and he can be an outside pass lead. Now it works much better if they're base aligned. This is about taking advantage of their alignment. You see he's base aligned, which means he's pinched in just a little bit on that left side. What that's going to do is it's going to allow me to throw this. It's a hard left pass lead, and you're going to click on and possession catch it. Very, very good route combo, or very, very good route to have, because of the fact that that stock fade gets a really, really nice outside release against most of the other plays that they're going to call. From there, the rest of it, you can hot route it. Really, there's nothing that effective within this play. These are just basic in routes. And I honestly would hot route every other route on the play. You're literally just calling the play for that one cross route. Now, the play that I really wanted to focus in on is the play smash. Now, this is like I said, this is a very, very much so a constraint theory play. And what that means is, against specific defenses, I'm going to do specific things. So you'll see here, cover 2. See how these corners, they don't really get over the cloud under the deep blue. The cover 2 kind of takes them away. And to be quite honest with you, everything takes these corners away. So really what you're calling them for is in a situation where you need some type of out-breaking pattern to the outside from the slot. That's going to be quasi-effective. You see I can click on and possession catch them, but to me, this smash concept's not quite where we want it to be. The routes just aren't sharp enough. The jet touch pass is really good. You just call it, run it like a jet sweep. If you're starting to get a lot of 3-4 bear pressure style defenses, then you can call that and be very, very effective against it. All right, so that pretty much does it for the spread Y slot formation. We've spent about an hour and a half breaking down our base formation, and now we're going to go into really our really what I would consider to be something just as important as the gun spread Y slot, and that is the play. Let me see if I can come out and show you here. But that is the formation, the spread Y flex. Spread Y flex is very similar to the spread Y slot. You can do a lot of the same things. A lot of the same concepts are going to apply. what I would recommend you do is come out in the wide receiver slot package, do everything exactly the same that we did from the other set. Get Tyreek Hill here, Brian Pringle here. But what's going to happen is we're going to audible, and if you take a look here, the audible to this set is 2 players move. You see that right there? 2 players move. Everything else is the same. The splits are the same. But you got basically now a couple different motions you can do from this. You see I can motion Sammy Watkins to the right. I can do some different things like that. But what this is going to now allow us to do, you see how quickly we can be in Y cross. And I could run a really good Y cross from this formation. So we're going to break that down in the next portion of the guide. So we'll see you over there.